Hello, welcome to this special broadcast. I'm coming to you live from Srinagar. Union Home Minister Amit Shah's visit is expected here shortly. This is significant because this is his first visit since August 5th, 2019, when he piloted those crucial bills which ended Kashmir's special status, divided Jammu and Kashmir away from Ladakh. Ladakh was created into a separate union territory, and also the former state of Jammu and Kashmir was converted into a union territory. So, post that, this visit is significant. Why is it also significant? Is because it's happening in the shadow of terror. Civilians have been targeted in the last few days, and the security brass here is on its toes. Joining me to discuss what's happening in Jammu and in Kashmir, Mufti Islam, my bureau chief, who's posted here in Srinagar. Tejinder keeps a keen eye on the situation in Jammu. Thanks to both of you for taking time out. Mufti, first things first. There is a concern amongst the security grid that terror groups could try and upstage the Home Minister's visit by embarrassing the government, trying out more killings here in the valley.
Well, yes, it seems that is the case, given that what is happening in the last fortnight or so. We've seen a lot of attacks initially, mostly directed at civilians, and so far there have been some 10, 11 killings of civilians. Some from outside, there have been attack on, laborers from Bihar, and they've been quite scared. An estimated 10 to 15,000 people have left, and that's a huge worry for the government, and it's come to embarrass really the government because the police as well as security apparatus here were claiming that militancy is on its last leg. All of a sudden, now they have to deal with this faceless militancy or hybrid militancy, as you call. There seems to be very little clue. In fact, few days back, I was with Ghulam Nabi Azad of Congress. He said that, well, government will take some time to find ways to curtail this kind of a militancy because these are militants were not listed. So perhaps, although every day there are names given that all these cases have been cracked, but clearly we didn't have a detailed conversation with the police top brass. All we are relying is on the tweets which say that, this militant who has been eliminated was wanted in that connections. In fact, police has not taken questions on this, that how did they manage to kill, what were the links, what was the motive. We've yet to, ask those questions. But on face value, police has said that, well, we cracked almost all the cases, barring two, one of Mr. Makhanlal Bindru, another of Supinder Kaur, and her associate, where they've named a few militants, Wasim as well as Mehran, who still continue on the loose. And clearly, they've said that out of the 17 militants, a major, people who have been killed, they've been wanted in other killings, including the killing that was taken place here in Srinagar, where a probationary sub inspector was killed, or for that matter, the litter, killing where a carpenter was killed, or for that matter, other civilian killings of these street vendors. All in all, but clearly, an elaborate press conference is waited, where police would be told to respond to questions. That has not happened, but clearly these killings have really kind of disturbed the apple cart here in the valley.
Yes, and I'll discuss about that a little more. But let me bring in Tejinder. Tejinder, if the valley is worried about one more civilian getting killed or one more terror attack happening, what's the mood like in Jammu? I mean, there is a situation ongoing in Punch. There is a shadow of what is happening in the valley on Jammu as well. A lot of Pandit families retreated from the valley, went and took shelter in Jammu. Talk to us about what the expectations in your part of the Union Territory is from the Home Minister's visit.
See, Arnima, the areas in Jammu they continue to be tense because in the recent past we have seen several instances of drone droppings, wherein from the Pakistan side drones are being used to drop arms and ammunition into the Indian side. The security apparatus they have also got the inputs that terrorists might try to target minorities in those areas which are vulnerable places like the Kishtwar, Riyasi, the Ramban district, also in the Punch and Rajouri district, where the security apparatus they have the inputs that terrorists might try to do something spectacular before the visit or during the visit of the Union Home Minister. So elaborate security arrangements have already been put in place. Sources are also disclosing that the terror group, which is hiding right now in the Narkhas forest area in Mender, where the encounter has been raging on for the past 12 days, there were apprehensions that that group was also tasked to target minorities in those
Hmm.
areas on or before the visit of Union Home Minister. So right now, elaborate security arrangements have been made by the by security grid. As you reported earlier this morning, additional troops have already been rushed to the Union territory of Jammu and Kashmir. So these 3 days, when the Union Home Minister would be in the Union territory, are going to be very crucial. The security apparatus, the anti-infiltration grid, both on the international border and the line of control, they would be monitoring all the development. I have been speaking to some of the senior officers of the Jammu and Kashmir police here in Jammu. They say that yes, they have the inputs, but elaborate measures are being taken so as to make sure that these terrorists they don't succeed in their design to target the minorities. But yes, there is a sense of fear among those minorities in some pockets across Jammu region also, given the fact that in Kashmir in the last couple of days, as my colleague from Srinagar, Mufti Islah, has been extensively reporting from all those places how minorities, how the migrant laborers were targeted despite heavy presence of security forces. So yes, there is some apprehension among the minority community, especially in those vulnerable areas which are adjacent to the line of control or those areas which has in the past seen such terror-related incidents. Yes.
Right. Meanwhile, here in Srinagar, tourists are coming in droves. That is a positive that the administration wants to showcase. Here on the Boulevard Road, just take a look. I'll try and show you on the Boulevard Road. The traffic here is normal. All these travelers, these vehicles that you see here have filled with tourists. And even in the market areas, in the tourist areas, you see them. So that was one apprehension that perhaps this will once again impact tourism. They've already suffered when there was lockdown post August 5th, 2019. Then there was lockdown because of COVID. And if in this third season as well, tourists were kept away, that would have meant a body blow to Kashmir's economy. But thankfully, that's not happening. At least that's one good thing, isn't it, Mufti? But other than that, security is a concern and it's quite visible. Frisking has increased. Women folks are also being frisked. Students are being frisked. There's a drone grid which has now been put in place. So clearly, the administration is on its toes. All, the entire top brass, the NIA, the CRPF, you name the central agency, all of them are here in the capital to ensure that nothing untoward happens.
Not only that, in fact, top officials of CRPF, NI, for that matter, the DGP, who's in fact the head of both CRPF and NI, he's camping here and he's been coming and going from Delhi to Srinagar. There are other officials who come in. The intelligence chief is here. Then you have really the police as well as CRPF on tenterhooks, I would say. There's been patrolling which has been increased. There are sharp shooters who have been placed on high-rise buildings. You have for the first time CRPF contingent really now
Hmm.
frisking even women and children, and that's kind of brought some embarrassment. But clearly, these are measures that government has taken, and they've said that we're not going to take any chances. Then there are cameras. In fact, there's also now talk about new cameras being installed, which would kind of detect the features of people who have some crime-related antecedents. So clearly, government is having a fresh kind of a review on security, and clearly it is happening because Home Minister Amit Shah is coming tomorrow, and you have this what you call the security bandobast here in the valley in full. Also, there are additional contingents of CRPF which have been brought in, and this all is to prevent anything. We're being told that internet would be slowed down from tomorrow. Again, measures where they want a kind of a foolproof security so that government of the day is not really embarrassed. All in all, we've seen that there's been a lot of now intelligence gathering, especially with special emphasis on preempting the attacks rather than actually these culminating here in the valley. So all these measures have really been taken, and security forces, as you rightly put it, they've been on toes in the last 1 week or so.
Yes, like you said, additional paramilitary forces brought here. I learned that at least 20-25 companies have been deployed for Srinagar alone because there is a agency input that perhaps the Srinagar could see more targeted killings. At the same time, measures that are being taken. Some bikes have been seized, like you mentioned, Mufti. Internet slowed down at some places. Perhaps the internet was also disrupted. political opposition already criticizing. But let's keep the security aspect aside, because this visit will also be a message that terrorists will not be able to deter government of India, government of Jammu and Kashmir from carrying out what they have in mind as far as Naya Kashmir, their plans for Naya Kashmir is concerned. In that backdrop, Tejinder, help us understand development initiative wise, what is it that Jammu is looking at? What are the expectations of people of Jammu? Post August 5th, 2019, key visit of the Home Minister, they had a lot of hope from government of India.
Obviously, Arnima, when the Article 370 was abrogated, it was the Jammu region, all the 10 districts of Jammu region, which came in full support of the decision of the union government for the abrogation of Article 370. There were celebrations which were held in Jammu, across Jammu region to celebrate the this event when the Article 370 was abrogated. At that point in time, several promises were being made to the people in Jammu. Some of those promises have been fulfilled, some are still awaited to be fulfilled, and some seems to be a distant dream. The people here in Jammu, they are looking forward to the public rally of Home Minister Amit Shah, which is going to be held at Bhagwati Nagar. There is a place called Bhagwati Nagar here in Jammu, where this rally of Union Home Minister would be held on 24th of this month. So the people here, they are looking towards the announcement which the Union Home Minister is expected to make. The people here, ever since Article 370 was abrogated, people here, they were promised that job avenues would be created, but that seems to be a distant dream because unemployment rate in Jammu region continues to be high as compared to the Kashmir Valley. So the people here, they are saying that fulfill those promises that were made to us. But yes, the people from West Pakistan refugee who were denied any citizenship rights in Jammu and Kashmir for the past 70 years, they could not send their children for higher education. They could not apply for government jobs in Jammu and Kashmir. They were not considered as a resident of Jammu and Kashmir. Despite them living here in Jammu and Kashmir, they were able to elect their member parliament, those West Pakistani refugees, but they were not even able to vote for their local municipal elections. So the discrimination has already ended. These people are happy. The Valmiki community, which arrived here in Jammu in the early 50s, they were denied of any citizenship rights here in Jammu and Kashmir prior to the abrogation of Article 370. Those people are happy. But yes, there is a general sense in people that certain promises which were made to them, they need to be fulfilled, and they look forward to the speech of Union Home Minister Amit Shah. They say that Amit Shah is the architect, the mind behind the abrogation of Article 370, and they have high hopes on them. I have been talking to the BJP leaders here in Jammu region. They are saying that they have made elaborate arrangements for the public rally which Amit Shah would be addressing here in Jammu. They have been working, the state unity of BJP has been working round the clock to make this rally a success. We are told that people from all parts, all the 10 districts of Jammu and Kashmir would be participating. So this is going to be a huge rally, and also it would be sending a message to other political parties to show the support which BJP has been enjoying in Jammu region. In last elections, BJP got 25 seats, and now they say that they want the number to increase once the elections are held in the union, now the union territory. Yes, Arunima.
Right, right. So it's a heady mix of giving a message to terror groups that the administration and the grid will not be deterred, development-related initiatives to ensure that people of Jammu and Kashmir feel that government is here to care for them. Again, to the place that I am standing at, the Boulevard Road, SKICC will be the venue of three meetings here. The meeting of the Unified Command is expected once the Union Home Minister is here. Here at the Dal, there was also planned to hold a Shikara rally. The security aspect of that is still being worked out. There could also be an evening of Sufi music as the Home Minister comes here. But the crucial meetings, the public rally in Jammu that Tejinder mentioned, the Unified Command meeting here, security review meeting. We are told that the Home Minister has been very hands-on, taking daily briefings about the progress in the civilian killing case that has been happening. NIA is constantly carrying out searches, raids, arrests to try and figure out who are the overground workers who are providing logistical support. Jammu and Kashmir Police has carried out encounter, claiming they have identified terrorists responsible for killing of teachers, chemists, and local vendors as well. So there is work in progress, but there is also perhaps a gift that is waiting for people of Jammu and Kashmir. the Srinagar to Sharjah flight could also, direct flight, could also be flagged off by the Home Minister. So there's lots in store in the next 3 days. Mufti Tajinder and I will keep coming back to you with more on that key visit. Thanks for watching.